Hello and welcome back everyone to the video series dedicated show on MTV that will gladly throw you off of a cargo net. That's right, we're talking about The Challenge Season 36 Double Agents Episode 7, and in this episode we learn the embroidery of the challenge on these jackets are the worst. At one point you can see Corey's A is missing. You can see in multiple scenes in this episode the letters are like peeling up. Some of the jackets don't even have the challenge on them. My goodness, the challenge puts so much of the budget on helicopters and explosions, but yet puts the bare minimum on these jackets. It's not a good look, literally. But after that mini rant, let's start off where last episode left off, and that was everybody coming back to the challenge house after Cam versus Ashley, where Cam won, got her gold skull, and now back at the challenge house, Jay and Theresa have a lot of explaining to do. First, to Kyle and Corey, whom Jay said that he would give them a heads up, yet he did not, and he blindsided them. And then Leroy joins the argument and says that Jay better watch his back. Theresa comes in to try to calm the flame, saying that was all on her, but Leroy's like, no, you guys are a pair. Whatever you guys do, either if it's your decision or his decision, it's both y'all's decision. You made this as a unit, and so you're gonna be targeted as a unit. Now right here, Theresa makes a very good point in her confessional, and she's like, hey, the challenge is like Narnia. A day is like a year, and if you just lay low and coast for a little bit, somebody else will make themselves a bigger target and they will get everybody else's attention. However, in this episode, Theresa doesn't even take her own advice. She doesn't lay low whatsoever in this episode. In fact, she does the most, especially coming in the next morning when she's having some coffee banter with CT, and then she's just like, we have to think about the next level. We have to think about what to do next. Who's the next target? And then she just throws out Darrell's name, and CT is agreeing with her, but that's CT's game at this point. Just hear everybody else's information, you say what they want to hear, and then you just go on and do your own thing. Now, I saw a video on Instagram from Darrell talking about how he and CT had a secret alliance coming into the house, yet they did not want to be seen together too much because one, they are champions, and two, they're OG vets. They don't want to put a giant target on their back hanging out with each other and talking and looking like they're scheming together, because that would put a huge target on their back. So they came in with a secret alliance. So hearing Theresa say Darrell's name, I'm sure CT was like, no, that's not gonna happen. And then the whole thing is that CT takes that information, even if he tells one person, which is his partner Big T. Big T is in with the rookies and Amber B. She's gonna relay that to Amber B, and then they're gonna relay that to Darrell. No information is gonna stay a secret in this challenge house. Heck, this house doesn't even have doors really, except for a front door and a backsliding glass door. Another conversation happening this morning is Fessy and Corey. Now, Fessy is wanting to have a heart-to-heart with Corey, get his best friend back, as he hates to eat lunch at the lunchtime table alone in the house, I'm guessing. And so he's having a heart-to-heart, saying that maybe his actions within the house, within the game, is being misinterpreted. He didn't blindside Corey and backstab Nelson because he's selfish and arrogant. He did it because he's shy and self-conscious, which makes all the sense in the world. Water under the bridge, right? Corey really wants to trust Fessy, and Fessy at the end of this conversation says that he wants each other to have their backs, and he wants Corey to know that he's looking out for him within this game. And Corey's like, I want to believe you, but he's been backstabbed and blindsided so much in this game that I'm sure Corey's like, I don't think I can trust anybody at this point, not even myself. And Devin and Kyle are in the hot tub listening in on this, which will play out further in this episode. But now let's move on to this week's daily challenge called Aerial Takedown. And this is the daily challenge where it's going to be like King of the Hill or King of the Mountain, where this is going to be run in 4 heats of 5 people, and what they're going to have to do is hold onto this cargo net that's being taken up in this helicopter, and what you're going to have to do is push people off into the cold water, and the last person standing will win that heat. And the person with the best and fastest overall time will win this daily challenge. Now, this is the daily challenge where I'm like, let's get this going. This is going to be so much fun to watch. There's so much going on that Who's going to be going after who? Is Fessy going to be the one targeted? Is everybody going to want to throw Jay and Theresa off this thing? Well, we're going to have to wait and see as we move into Heat 1, where we have Casey, Big T, Cam, Anissa, and Nany. And let me just tell you right now, this is the best heat of the day, as all these girls are really trying. They are really pushing each other. They are having a good time. Like, they have smiles on their face, but they're like kicking each other, pushing off each other. Anissa gets flung into the water first. Then it's Big T saying her goodbyes right before she hits the water. Then Casey is going after Cam, and honestly, this is the best case scenario for Nany and Casey. Nany is paired up with Josh, who's in the Big Brother Alliance with Casey. Casey and Nany are friends. Nany doesn't want a target on her back. Why would she want to win this? So to me, Nany's in the confessional saying that she really wants to put up a fight, and she's doing a good job. However, at the next instant, she gets like thrown off this thing, and Casey takes first place. She wins in Heat 1, and then this daily challenge goes downhill rather quickly. In Heat 2, we have Devin, Fessy, Kyle, Nam, and Darrell. Now, I would show the video footage of this heat, but the still image would suffice because nothing happens in this daily challenge. I mean, Devin's in the confessional saying that he's looking at Kyle and Nam and Darrell and Fessy, saying that there's no way I can get anybody off of this thing. So I'm just gonna play defense and hold on to it, which everyone else is like, I'm cool with that. I don't wanna get wet. So they just get like hook on for a little helicopter ride around the lake for a little bit, and then they get disqualified. Nothing happens. In the aftermath show, Leroy lets it out of the bag that all the guys got together and was like, we're not in this. We're not feeling this daily challenge. We're not gonna try. We don't wanna risk injury. We don't wanna get thrown into the water. So let's just wave the white flag and not do a whole lot this episode and just see what happens in the women's heats. So we move on to the women heat. In Heat 3, we have Theresa, Lolo, Gabby, Amber M, and Amber B. And right before taking the platform, Theresa is like talking to all the people in her heat, saying like, okay, let's work smarter, not harder. If all the girls just drop off too really quickly and only one person is left, that person ensures the win. So how about we do that? In earlier challenges, I feel like this would have been the tactic to do. Like, this would have been so easy to find the loophole in this daily challenge. However, Amber B is hearing rumors that Theresa wants to come after Darrell. Theresa's trying to win to keep her and Jay safe and maybe throw in Darrell. But Amber B is like, yo, Theresa's just trying to get another win, try to make another move to blindside more people. I came here to challenge myself. I came here to compete. So I'm not gonna just throw this daily challenge, which I applaud Amber B because that's the kind of mentality I want in a competitor, whether a vet or a rookie. I want to see somebody compete. And she's like, I'm not going to just lay down and die for somebody to get power that I don't fully trust. So they take the cargo net, and Theresa is calling the shots on this thing. Amber is the first one to drop in like 3 seconds. Then it's Lolo, then it's Gabby, and Amber B is the only one left, and she is not going down without a fight. Theresa is really pushing her. Amber B is really giving it to her, and that's when Helicopter dips this bag into the water and really jostles this thing to where Amber B gets flung into the water. Theresa is white knuckling it, holding on for dear life because she does not want to go into this water, and Theresa wins her heat. And then we move on to Heat 4, which is very similar to Heat 2, except for Jay and Leroy are actually going at each other, really pushing at each other. It's kind of a tussle up there. And then Michi like moves over to try to give Josh a run for his money, but then Michi just falls off into the water. But hey, at least he tried. The rest of Heat 4 is disqualified. Now, once everyone is back on dry land, that's when TJ is like, look, the women, y'all killed it. Boys, you freaking suck. And I love when he's like, boys. He's like, he didn't say men. You guys didn't get the moniker men. He was like, boys, you friggin' suck. Like, this was pitiful. It comes down to Casey and Theresa's time, and only 1 second separates them. And it comes down to Casey and Leroy winning this daily challenge. I was so happy because that was the heat that actually went after each other. That was actually trying their hardest. Theresa is pissed back at the challenge house. She is fuming, especially to Amber B, because she's just trying to play this nice girl. She wants to be like, oh, we're just playing out, having a good time. Well, guess what? She's pissed that she didn't win. She knows she's in the line of fire and Jay is in the line of fire, and her game, it could take a massive hit with Leroy and Casey as the double agents in this episode. Now we move on to the party time. However, nobody is having fun or relaxing at all during this party time, as Gabby comes over to give Theresa a heads up that, hey, there's some confusion happening in the house. Maybe it's like a game of telephone or something, but like, look, people are talking that you have it out for Darrell. And that's when Theresa's like trying to summon Darrell over, like, come over here, Darrell, over here. And Darrell's like, no, you come over here if you want to talk. Theresa and Darrell are talking, and it's getting heated because you could tell, like, Darrell is not trusting anything Theresa's saying. He trusts Amber B as his partner because, hey, that's the person that's going to have your back. And she actually tried on that cargo net that is going to try to keep Darrell safe. So Theresa, pissed off about what Darrell is saying about how Amber B told him all this stuff at the daily challenge and what was going on and what was being said, that she goes up to Amber B at the bar pretty aggressively. And that's when she is like at a 10, Amber B is staying at a 2 in her talking voice, and Theresa can't handle it. And she's just like, look, I'm frustrated with you, I'm out of here. And Amber B, I love Amber B in this moment because she's just like unbothered. She couldn't be bothered at all. She's just like, she's over here talking about strategy, and you know what? I couldn't care less. Like, it was so awesome. It was so perfect. On the other side of this party, Devin is poking a drunk Fessy bear over here while he's like talking about how nobody wants to see you win. You sucked in these physical daily challenges. What are you doing here? And Fessy is trying to like assert his intimidation factor, really trying to show like, I'm here. Nobody's gonna try to take me out. And while he's doing this, Devin is mooning people. Like, he's just mooning him. Like, the intimidation factor and Fessy try to like regain confidence. It's just not working, as Josh is actually the one trying to cool Fessy down, which is bizarro world almost in a way. And that's when Josh comes back into the kitchen and Kyle and Devin are poking him now. And that's when water gets flung. People are having to be held back. Also, we find out in the scene that CT shops at Target. That's when Devin goes over and talks to Josh. Minus the math problems, this fight has happened before, so Josh is not having any of Devin's go at him. In the next morning, we have a lot of conversations happening. We have Fessy and Casey, where Casey's giving Fessy a pep talk saying like, you gotta keep your head. People are going to come after you. You've done a lot in this game. You've done a lot to piss people off in this game, but you need to have a cooler head. Then we move over to Devin apologizing to his now partner, Gabby, saying like, hey, look, I know I got us into maybe some hot water, maybe our names could come up, and I'm sorry for that, I shouldn't have done it. And then we move on to Amber B talking to Jay and Theresa, saying like, hey, this is what I've heard. And Teresa's like, I can pinpoint exactly the day, time, clothes I was wearing when I had this conversation with the only person that I had this conversation with, and that is CT. And this is when Teresa's like, I'm gonna call out CT in the deliberation, and I'm gonna call him out in front of everybody and put him on blast. Mainly to set the record straight, but also to put some heat on CT and try to get off of Jay right before the vote. So we move on to the deliberation, and that's when Devin starts things off with an apology, apologizing to everybody that, hey, I apologize for my portion of the fight that happened last night. Also, please don't say my name. And then that's when Theresa is like, hey, I just want to let you all know that I've only said Darrell's name once, which in the challenge, once is enough. But she's like, I said Darrell's name once, and I said it to only one person, and that was CT, and he agreed with me. And this is where the gaslighting begins, as CT starts to deny till you die, and discredit Theresa, trying to throw her under the bus, keep on calling her a snake, put more heat on her, put more gasoline on that fire, and nobody's coming to Jay and Theresa's help. Like, things are still pretty hot over there. People are fanning the flames. Cam is not having whatever Theresa and Jay is cooking up. Neither is Darrell, neither is Kyle. There's so much heat on Jay and Theresa that even a fight that happened last night could calm the flames. But we move on to the voting ceremony, and it coming down to a lot of people voting for either Gabby and Devin or Jay and Theresa, and it's going back and forth, back and forth. We move into the secret deliberation between Leroy and Casey, and we find out that the compromised agents are Jay and Theresa. 12 people voted for them, and that was the pairings of Kyle and Cam, Michi and Amber M, Big T and CT, Anissa and Amber B, Darrell, Devin, Gabby, and Corey. Those are the 12 people that put their votes on Jay and Theresa, and this is where we learn more into what Leroy is thinking about. He is thinking that I want to get my skull. Cam just got hers. I want revenge for what they did to her, and at this point, he's itching. He's dying to get his gold skull, so he's thinking, I want to throw myself in. If it's not him, he puts out Nam's name. Now, we learned in the aftermath that Leroy went up to Jay at some point before the elimination and said, hey, it's either going to be me or it's going to be Devin going to be thrown in. Jay apparently said that he wanted to go up against Leroy. He wants to go up against a beast in the elimination and see if he can take him out. So he actually wanted to go up against Leroy in the elimination, but Leroy, of course, is a little bit nervous. He wants to throw himself in. He wants to get his gold skull. He talks to Cam saying that I'm itching to get my gold skull, and I think I'm going to go in regardless of what it is. Now we move on to this week's elimination, and it is Fire Escape, which we saw in episode 1 where it was Natalie versus Ashley. However, this thing is twice as long and has triple the humps. Coming into this, I'm sure Leroy is thinking, yep, I'm going in. Like, this was such an easy decision. I'm going to be throwing myself into this elimination no matter what. I did this in X's 2. I crushed it on logs, and I know I can crush it on a beam. But before we get into all that, TJ has to address everyone saying, hey, all that behavior that happened last night, all that drunken fighting going on with the water and all that, there's a warning. Like, cut that out. Don't do it anymore. Also, there's going to be a rule change. And if you're not going to try in these daily challenges, well, guess what? You're not going to have a voice and you're not going to have a vote. So guess what? Everyone who did not try in that daily challenge, all the guys that were disqualified, their votes are disappeared. They're gone. Boom. Bye-bye. See you later. Sayonara. They're gone. And so that's when people are like, wait a minute, what? Is this going to change up the game? Who's going to be the compromised agents now? Well, guess what? The compromised agents are Jay and Theresa. Nothing changed, all right? Nothing was different because the votes were gone. But just to warn you, if you don't try, it could have changed. And it could change in the future if you don't try and your vote gets taken away. So I love the rule change. I think it was perfect. So I loved it. Even though nothing changed, I love this rule change. So Jay and Theresa come down. Leroy volunteers himself. Like, you can just see, Leroy has the eye of the tiger. Leroy wants this so bad. This is his final season. Now, I'm not saying that Jay didn't want this because Jay really put up a great fight in this elimination. However, Leroy has experience in this specific elimination. He has the confidence knowing he did this in an earlier season. He has the length. He has the speed. This elimination was less than a minute. Less than a minute, yet the challenge in this edit elongated it to be over 5 minutes long. The same shots being played over and over and over and over and over again. Like, this is the point where I wanted to see the raw footage. Kind of like how they did in Invasion of the Champs Inside Out when Nelson won in like 30 seconds flat. I mean, why not show the raw footage? I wanted to see Leroy dominate this thing in less than a minute. Like, it's less than a minute, just show it. Jay put up a hell of a fight. It was really close in the beginning. However, once Leroy got past the first check mark and then he was turning back before Jay even got across the first finish line, I knew Leroy had this because it was going to be much easier going the opposite way than having your feet go first. So Leroy wins, Jay is sent home, and now he has an option of either taking Cam or staying with Casey. He decides to stay with Casey. It's still early in this game, and so he's going to stay with Casey, and Theresa and Corey are now partnered together. Neither one are happy about it, but now they are partners, and that is it for this episode. What'd you think about this challenge episode? Let me know that in the comment section below. What do you think about this daily challenge? What do you think about the men all disqualifying? Are you pissed off as I am? Let me know that in the comment section below. What do you think about Leroy and Casey winning? And what do you think about Leroy volunteering himself to go down there and get his gold skull? I'm super proud of him. I'm happy. This is like the episode that the producers thought about when they put the gold skull twist and being able to throw yourself in twist in this season. It's like, yes, we want people to do this, yet nobody is doing it, but Leroy shows us how it is done. I loved seeing it, and I'm happy to see him do it. And what do you think about this possibly being Leroy's last elimination of his challenge career? Let me know that in the comment section below. But thank you so much for watching. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really soon with more challenge content, more challenge double agent content, more content in general. But until then, peace.